Hi, I'm Michael, and this is my colleague Sally. We were having a Zoom coffee the other day and started talking about what we're observing in organizations and what we thought organizations needed to be doing about the future. We decided to get together again and try to record those thoughts for you to see if it helps you and your organization. So over to you, Sally. What are you seeing at the moment in organizations?
Well, do you know what? It's been so interesting spending time with leaders and really listening to the challenges that they're facing at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of leaders who are clearly being immersed in the challenges of just keeping their organisations afloat during recent weeks. That's absolutely understandable. And I was talking to one of the leaders the other day about the old William Bridges model. Do you remember the model of transitions?
Yeah, the sort of beginnings and endings model. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. And I remember when I first looked at the transitions model, it showed land, then it showed a river, and then it showed more land.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the land that they have left behind.
Yeah.
And he said to me, it feels like I'm in the river. I'm in a boat at the moment. And we laughed and we said, oh, everybody's in the same boat. And actually we said, I'm not sure everybody's in the same boat. Every single organisation are facing really different challenges. So we were just talking about this and we played with the idea, and he said, well, I'm in a boat, but I'm in a different boat to everyone else. And it just feels like I'm in this river. But my team are looking at me and saying, when are we going to reach land?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that land, but I'm not sure I can see it. So it's really challenging, I think, for leaders at the moment to be able to provide any kind of certainty or clarity with their teams about what that new land might look like.
And that's interesting, because from my perspective, I've talked to a number of clients who've said things to me like, this is teaching us an awful lot about how we could be running our organizations. We're going to be more virtual. Everybody can work from home. And that makes me really, really nervous, because I see organizations as immensely social, and the sociable nature of organizations. If we don't allow people to come together in the same space, those relationships and therefore that creativity, that innovation doesn't happen. Yeah. And I like that analogy of we're on a river. I guess the worry is what's ahead. Is it a waterfall? Is it rapids? Is it the ocean? Or is there land? Will we get to the other side? That's a really interesting idea.
Yeah, and I think what was interesting as I was talking to him is I suddenly realised that most people will look back and say, but we had certainty. And therefore we want certainty in future. Yeah. And I was thinking about this and thinking, I'm not sure we have any right as human beings to expect certainty. I'm not even sure that we had certainty, over recent years, because with the challenges and changes with technology and globalization, organizations are having to be agile and to be nimble and to flex over recent years. The big challenge, obviously, is this is a situation that nobody has ever been in before.
Yes.
And leaders are really asking that question, what do I do next? From a leadership perspective, how should I be behaving? What should I be saying? Where am I going? Yeah. And that's the real challenge for leaders at the moment.
Yeah, I worked with a client a few years ago who the chief executive's biggest issue was that for them, they could cope with ambiguity. In fact, they wanted ambiguity and uncertainty to move the company, to move the market. But his senior management team were highly process-driven and wanted certainty and normality and regulation. And he said that in terms of the culture of what they were doing, that was a major clash for him. That his driver was to try to shift and move the organization as a leader, but he had a management team who were managing today's processes and deliveries. And that mishmash, he really had to get a grip to it. And I guess that's what we're talking about here, isn't it? Did we ever have certainty? And are we allowed the privilege of certainty? Don't we now have to cope with this? This is, I hate using the expression, this is the new norm, but this is reality. And therefore, what organization do you want? What do you want to create for the future?
We're certainly in that Becker world that people were describing over recent years. We're absolutely there. But one of the things that I was saying to the leader that I was talking to at that time is about the importance of clarity, perhaps, and not certainty. He's in a great place to spend time exploring with his team about the creativity that they've shown during the last 12 weeks. You know, they've got into this new boat, they're navigating a river which seems to be going out to an ocean, and maybe that's not anything to be too scared about.
Yes.
You know, maybe there's an opportunity for organisations to emerge stronger because they have had to collaborate in a different way, they've had to be more creative, and they've certainly had to take an awful lot more risks than they have previously. You know, and those are amazing attributes that as a leader he needs to harness, congratulate his staff on, get them really thinking about what can we learn, you know, what have we embraced that we want to take forward on this journey, and just think about navigating a new journey to a new destination.
And that destination might emerge rather than being certain. I like this idea of clarity of what we're doing and what we're about. Back to Simon Sinek's why, I guess, this clarity about what we're doing and what we're about, rather than certainty as to where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
The destination will emerge. And does that come back to confidence? Does that come back to confidence as a leader in your ability to be uncertain?
Yeah, I think it links to purpose, though. I think the really important thing is for a leader to be clear about the purpose. And I suspect that with most organisations, certainly the leader I was talking to, their purpose as an organisation has not changed. And he needs to be thinking about reinforcing that purpose with people, because it's the purpose that will keep them focusing on the direction that they want to go in, not that final destination, but delivering the purpose.
And the mechanisms and the processes and the structure will follow if that purpose is right. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So folks, that's a 4 or 5 minute summary of what Sally and I were talking about the other day. Hope it's helpful. Hope it spurs a thought to you, and enjoy it. Take care.